What's up, everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode from the Lions Cove podcast. I'm your host, Marcelo, and today we are with a professional golfer, one of my longtime friends, Connor Gdovin. Welcome to the podcast, brother.
Thanks. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, sir, man. So me and Connor go way back since the travel basketball days, probably since like the third grade, which is insane. And obviously, dude, seeing your progress firsthand has been absolutely incredible, and I can't wait to get into these questions today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's been we've known each other for a while now, and this is certainly fun.
Yeah, dude, let's do it. So you're currently ranked in the World Amateur Golf Rankings and have a couple recognized wins. So how do you pay attention to those standings? Or I'm sorry, how much do you pay attention to those standings? And what's the latest with your professional journey right now?
Yeah, I mean, the Wagger stuff was always, something you sort of paid attention to. I mean, you had to either win or finish pretty high up in a event to be recognized by them, and to even just get a ranking on there. Not just any amateur golfer, I guess, has a ranking with the World Amateur Golf Ranking. So when I was ranked there in junior golf, and then I didn't play great for sort of a year and fell off, and then when I got the transfer and won that college event, just I guess basically a year from like today, I got back on there, and so that was fun. That was just cool, one of those things you like to sort of check off the box, and so it was definitely cool, and something I wouldn't say I paid attention to where I was ranked, but always wanted my name up there, so if somebody Googles you or does whatever, they can see some of the stuff you've been playing in, and it was fun. But no, it's not something I certainly was like, oh, I got to do this, got to do that. Something that sort of just came with playing good, and if you played good, you sort of see your name up there. But,
Yeah, awesome. So now, do you have any upcoming events or I guess qualifiers?
So currently I'm in what's called Q School. So I just played the pre-qualifying round in Chicago, 2-3 weeks ago now. So now it's been just full preparation for first stage of Q School, and this is sort of qualifying for like PGA Tour and Korn Ferry Tour. So I guess every professional golfer, or even junior golfers, everybody's dream is to play on the PGA Tour, and so hopefully I can keep playing well these next couple weeks, and hopefully by December we have a Korn Ferry card, or better yet, a PGA Tour card.
Wow, dude, crazy. Yeah. So then, do you have I guess like a caddy with you? Do you bring people with you, or do you just kind of go by yourself, do the whole routine trainings, all of that?
So traveling, typically my mom or dad will still travel with me quite a bit. Girlfriend likes to tag along, but no, it varies. I'd say I've had your uncle who we had on last week.
Yeah.
He's caddied for me a handful of times. Vince Daher's caddied for me a number of times. My most recent is my assistant coach from Eastern Kentucky, who he recently just got a new job with a different university, so he's a little further away. But Batteries has caddied for me a number of times, which we've enjoyed and played well. But it sort of varies with who's available. But no, it's like this week my dad might do it for me, or I'll just throw my clubs on my back and go try to get it done.
Wow. So playing in the 2024 U.S. Amateur Final qualifying had to be a pretty big moment. So what did you learn from that event, and how do you think it's helped your game since?
Yeah, I mean, going from qualifying for the U.S. Amateur, you have like first round of qualifying, and then final qualifying, and obviously the big event. But no, that was super cool. It was at Scarlet Golf Course at Ohio State, a golf course that I've played really well at. I think I finished 4th in Ohio State's event there, so I had good memories going into that golf course, which was great, and then played well and was able to secure a spot in the USAM, which is, I guess, probably the biggest event you could play in. in amateur golf, which was certainly an experience I'll never forget. Which was really cool, going up to Hazeltine in Minnesota. That's hosted, you know, Ryder Cups, PGA Championships, U.S. Opens. So that was a really cool place to go and sort of, I guess, cap off my amateur career, I guess, and then played the college season, and then now we're here playing some professional golf stuff.
Wow, dude, that's crazy. So now, how many people are at these like U.S. amateur events? Like, does it range from like a big group, or is it kind of like smaller?
So I mean, for like the U.S. amateur, that's a bigger one. So you actually play the stroke play portions at 2 different golf courses, so they can host a bigger number. I think there was 250 guys.
Wow.
So basically, your 250 best players from the country, or even from across the globe. I mean, there's kids from everywhere. And then, you know, some of your amateur events, some of the smaller, I mean, like a Western Am is probably going to have, you know, 125 guys. And then, I mean, it really just varies based on the event. You know, your invitational like your Western Ams or Southern Ams, things like that are more an invitational base, so they'll be a little bit smaller. But yeah, no, I'd say it ranges from about 125 guys to, you know, 250 guys for a U.S. amateur.
Yeah, and too, I mean, getting people like from all across the world playing here, I mean, dude, it's gotta be a great feeling.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's cool. I let's see. I didn't play with anybody from I guess overseas. I mean, through my college experience, I mean, I had teammates from England. I played with we had a guy from France.
Wow.
We've had guys from all over the place. So it's been cool. I mean, that's another cool part about the golf journey so far, is just, you know, playing with different cultures and meeting. I mean, I've met some of the coolest people just on the golf course, and, you know, you get to spend a lot of time with them. You're out there for a while. So you get to spend some time and learn about different people, and, you know, it's a lot of fun.
Wow, awesome. So as you continue to move up the ranks, how has your training schedule evolved, and what does your day-to-day preparation look like now compared to when you first started?
Yeah, it's certainly come a long way. I mean, I can think back to high school days where, you know, you're jumping off a van and school's over at 3 o'clock, and you jump out and you walk straight to the first tee and you hit it. And then getting to college, I definitely learned the importance of sort of taking care of your body and making sure your body's ready to go before you even hit a golf ball. And so, I mean, I guess a pre-round routine, I mean, really starts almost 2-3 hours before I even go tee one up. With making sure, I mean, in college we were playing 36-hole days where you're out on the golf course for basically 12 hours straight playing golf. So making sure you're fueled up and your body's in a good spot was honestly probably more important than even just being able to hit the golf ball. I mean, being able to just basically survive out there for 12 hours carrying your golf bag. But no, it's certainly been a learning experience, and, you know, going into the pro golf stuff, you don't really have a trainer at your disposal like we did in college. So that's been a little bit different, but so just trying to take those things that the trainers and the athletic department did teach us, that, you know, sort of just doing a lot of that stuff on your own. But no, it's good. I mean, yeah, taking two hours before you go, just stretch and make sure your body's ready, and then, you know, on the, I guess, day to day, it depends on what's coming up. Like having first stage of Q school here in a couple weeks, you know, it's this week is sort of, you know, a bigger grind week, making sure everything's in order, and golf swing feels good, body feels good, and everything like that. So it's definitely a little bit more strenuous, I guess, this week, and you know, making sure I'm well rested and you know, doing all the little things I got to do, and then, you know, we're gonna go find out here on what I think it starts on Monday or Tuesday next week. So
wow.
You know, we'll go find out then. But
Yeah, dude. I know. I'm so excited to see how like your journey and game and all of that progresses throughout these next few months. But do you have like a pregame snack, or do you listen to like any music? What's kind of like the mindset going into it?
So that's a good question. So let's just say I'm going through my warm up routine and I'm going over there to walk to the first tee. Every single time in my headphones I'm playing "I'm a Boss" by Rick Ross.
Yeah, banger.
Every single time. So that's actually funny you asked that question. Every single time. I can't tell you the last time I've walked to the first tee and not walked onto that first tee listening to that song. I'd say like a good mid-round snack. Gotta love an Uncrustable. That was probably a pretty go-to one, especially in college. But yeah, that's probably the two biggest ones. Is probably an Uncrustable, maybe like a Nature Valley bar, and then gotta walk up to the first tee, listening to "I'm a Boss."
Dude, I'm a boss, and wait, is it a PBJ one,
Yeah,
or is
yeah.
it like the
It's
honey?
I prefer grape. Strawberry will work, but yeah, grape Uncrustable would be great. That's certainly getting picked up at the grocery store on the way to the event.
Dude, that is awesome, and that's a dynamic duo, bro.
Yeah,
That's,
it might not be the fanciest on golf course snack, but it from learning in college, it does provide, you get a little sugar, you get, I'm not sure the science behind it, but it seems to give me a good enough pickup to get through the day.
Yeah, dude, awesome. So, what are some of the goals you've set for yourself for the end of this year, and what do you hope to accomplish in the game long term?
Yeah, right now it's playing in Q school. That's first and foremost right now is obviously getting some status somewhere, whether it's on the Corn Ferry Tour. There's PGA Tour America is a little below that, and then obviously the number one goal is to play golf on the PGA Tour and sort of solidify myself as somebody who's out there every week playing on the PGA Tour. It's been my dream since I've been a kid. And so just working every day to try to get to that point. But no, just gotta. Right now it's first stage of Q school. We'll get through that and then sort of look forward after that. But try to stay as present as I can and play the best golf I can, and we'll see what happens.
Awesome, bro. So you kind of mentioned that this was your dream ever since you were a kid. So tell us the story of how you first picked up a golf club, and when did you realize that this was something that you could take seriously?
Yeah, my dad and grandpa always were golfers. Your weekend warrior type golfers are gonna maybe go out at 5 o'clock on a Tuesday or go out with their buddies on a Saturday morning or whatever that may be. So I've always been around it. It was always something I enjoyed, and then played baseball religiously growing up. Truly, if you ask me what I wanted to be a baseball player.
Yeah.
But I played. It's funny with Don Puno, who we all went to school with, Riley Kanisha, Josh Irwin, great basketball player. We played a Wednesday morning league in the summers, and one summer we were all pretty similar. The next I seemed to get a little bit better than they did. And then finally, that sort of third year we did it, I sort of would beat them every week, and I was like, maybe I can sort of do something with this, and started playing baseball a little bit less, started spending a little bit more time at the golf course, and then I'd say by 8th grade, I was like, this is something I think I can do in college and sort of take seriously. And I met my coach, Ned Weaver, who that was his first year back in Cleveland working at Stonewater just down the street. And he sort of took me under his wing and made sure I was doing all the right stuff. And, that's what I wanted to do at that point. But I'd say 8th grade summer going into freshman year, that was really, really what I wanted to do. And that sort of became my dream and what I worked towards.
Yeah, so like when you were a kid, was there like a favorite golf course that you would play at with your dad or like grandpa?
So my grandparents live on Little Mountain Golf Course in Menor. So we'd always go out there and at 5-6 o'clock at night when sort of everyone sort of made their way through, and we go out there and hit some shots and hit some putts or do whatever. We'd spend sometimes it ended up until it was literally we couldn't see anymore. And Airport Greens down the street, that was, I guess that's what I always say was my first home golf course. Manikiki's another great one. Grew up as, I guess, a public track kind of kid where, playing a lot of public golf, and then I was fortunate with Stonewater to be able to later down the road join there, and then, now I call Stonewater my second home. Try to spend as much time as I can there practicing and getting better, but yeah.
Yeah, dude. And the one thing that course is tough. I've never played there because I think if I played there, I'd probably hit a few houses. But
yeah, I've certainly watched some houses get hit, and probably hit a fair share myself. But no, it's a good spot, and they treat me great out there, and I love it.
Yeah. So you were a Western Reserve Conference champion in high school in 2018 and in 2020, even shooting a school record 66, which I don't know golf, I don't know the 60s to 80s, but I know if you're around 60, you're pretty solid. You're very good. And that's kind of like Masters range or something like that.
Yeah, no, it was, that was super cool. That 66 was my senior year. So that was, at that time was definitely a goal that I was trying to accomplish was shoot the school record. I believe it still stands. I haven't heard differently, but yeah, that was certainly a lot of fun, and at a golf course that I had played at a number of times growing up, Quail Hollow. But no, that was definitely a big accomplishment of what I was trying to do and what I was working towards.
Yeah, and then you also won the 2021 Hudson Junior Invitational and the 2020 Golf Week Tour Championship. But you also played basketball on top of that as well from freshman year to junior year. So how did balancing those two sports shape you, and what lessons from basketball did you take over into your golf career?
Yeah, basketball definitely. I'm a big believer in being an athlete and playing. You see so many of these kids these days growing up just sort of having to choose one sport when you're 12 years old, and it certainly was something that I enjoyed and still love going up to the rec and playing basketball or playing in the Cello Summer Showdown. But it's always something, and I'd say the team building lessons, the time you get to spend with the team, and building relationships with your teammates. Lifelong friends, and I guess that's the hardest part then going into golf. Missing those sports. A team sport like basketball, baseball, playing golf, it's lonely. A lot of time. I'm out there all the time, just sort of by myself. I've been fortunate to meet a lot of great people and have a lot of people I see at the golf course all the time. But it's spending a lot of time by yourself, and that's probably the biggest thing I missed from playing basketball or playing baseball, whatever sport it was. But it certainly taught me a lot of things. Kept my body in shape. Working out, running a lot. Trying to still take those things with some of the conditioning and working out and doing those sort of things to carry over into the golf game.
Yeah, and then I'm sure even drinking a ton of water too, because I know during the summer seasons on that golf course it gets really hot out there.
Yeah, it's nice. Typically the summer tournaments are a little different. Like college, the 36-hole days you're playing in fall and the spring where it's typically a little colder, so it's not quite as bad. But certainly, that's another thing that certainly goes along with my Uncrustable is a water, or a Gatorade or whatever it may be. But yeah, no, it's also that's the cool thing I guess I find about golf too is you can apply things you've learned from so many different things to the game of golf, and just taking everything as a learning experience and try to get better at no matter what you're doing, whether it's you're working a job, playing golf, playing basketball, doing whatever, being a better friend, whatever it may be.
Yeah. So what was the recruitment process like for you? And ultimately, how did you end up choosing Bowling Green?
Um, I'd say the recruitment process was really, really difficult. Going through it during COVID was certainly hard. I mean, I didn't. There might have been two college golf coaches that even watched me hit a golf ball in person before I was able to sort of make a decision. During COVID, none of the coaches were able to come out and watch us play. So I mean, I think that was the biggest thing, and then knowing a couple guys at Bowling Green already. Made I guess the decision for me. And looking back on it, I really I wanted to play Division I golf. Looking back on it, I might not have been disappointed to go play Division II or go the JUCO route and play somewhere that might have been a little bit more competitive. But like I said before, everything's sort of a learning experience, and then obviously being able to transfer to Eastern Kentucky was a great change for me. Got a little better facility. Just really enjoyed the coaching staff over there, and everything worked out great. So it was certainly a fun last year.
Yeah, and then so coming out of high school, did you have any other schools that were looking at you, or was it more sort of just like Bowling Green? Because I mean, obviously, I don't know how the golf recruitment process works.
Yeah, I had a number of MAC schools. I'd say looking at me, I mean, a Cleveland State. I had a couple Division II schools down south. Trying to think. I don't can't name a bunch off the top of my head, but no, there were definitely some other schools. But like I said, just knowing some of the guys there, I guess made my decision. And I knew one of the other guys going there, so it was that sort of I guess helped make my decision. And I didn't have a brother or sister go through it. I didn't have a ton of people that really around me that really knew what everything entailed. So sort of going into it, just trying to make the best decision I could, and learned a lot there. Played some really good events, and learned a lot, and it was definitely very good in my development. But
Yeah, so like I know with like the basketball recruitment process, it's more so sending your film out to these coaches. There's a bunch of websites that like I was on for basketball, like trying to go places. Did they have the same thing for golf, or was it more so just like sending out like the emails to the coaches?
yeah, so I mean, there's the American Junior Golf Association, which is basically what I like to call the PGA Tour for junior golfers. So you're under 18 players, and so it was just basically just trying to play as many AJGAs as you could, trying to post as many good scores as you could, and and then just sending out a lot of emails. And like I said before, typically I'd say like you look at the recruitment process now and even just before COVID, a lot of the coaches would spend a lot of time at these events. Whereas during COVID, they weren't allowed to be there. So I think that made it not only difficult for the players, but not only difficult for the coaches to sort of find a lot of the players. And yeah, so I mean, I think that was the hardest part during COVID, and then obviously the COVID year, guys getting that year of eligibility back. With I mean, your typical golf roster is only going to be between 8 and 10 guys. So having guys then coming back that following year, they really didn't need some programs. Just I talked to a lot of coaches that were just like, yeah, unfortunately, we're not taking anybody from your class.
That's crazy.
That definitely eliminated a lot of colleges just because they weren't taking freshmen. But yeah.
Wow. So at Bowling Green, your career stroke average was around 74.35 over 65 rounds, which is solid. And then you eventually transferred to Eastern Kentucky, where you picked up a tournament win, which is incredible. So obviously, how was your time at both programs, and what stood out to you the most?
Yeah, it was. I mean, I enjoyed both places I was. I mean, it was great, and I sort of got to the point where at Bowling Green where I just didn't really feel like I was getting any better there, and I'd come home in the summer and play summer events, and I'd play really well, and then seem to go back to college and for the college season and just not have my best stuff. And So I just figured with the recruitment stuff, I felt like, I might have been able to find a little bit better fit. And I was just, I got to the point where I was like, might as well do this. There's no penalty for transferring now. So I was like, I might as well go see what's out there. And ended up at a awesome university. I mean, I absolutely loved my time there. Coach Tereshko, I mean, took a chance on me, and couldn't thank him enough. They had great facilities down there. We had our own, private practice facility, university-owned golf course, awesome practice facilities. I mean, if there are any junior golfers out there, I would highly recommend Eastern Kentucky if you're looking to go get better. And it was awesome. And then obviously to be able to win at our home event, my first year, or my first event playing in the Colonel's uniform was pretty fun. And then ended up having a pretty solid season, and now get the transition into the professional golf stuff.
Wow. So then, so obviously, Bowling Green and Eastern Kentucky, obviously, those colleges are both in like the countryside areas, right?
Sure. Yeah, for sure.
So I guess what's like the best part about playing on those open field country courses compared to playing in kind of like a city like course?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say the golf is that much different. It's still, they're all tree lined. It's, I guess Bowling Green was a little flatter. There really isn't much out there. Maybe a little less trees, but no, I mean, it's definitely different. I mean, I guess the biggest thing was just going from living in Cleveland, where, you have downtown Cleveland 20 minutes away, and, you got the Indians, you got the Cavs, the Browns, just a million different things to go do. And then going to a small town where there really isn't much there. It's basically just school and golf. So that was probably the biggest thing, was learning then just a little bit more how to balance some of that free time. Because I guess I am a big believer in being able to balance your, gotta work hard on the golf course and work hard at what you're doing, but also, be able to sort of take yourself out of that arena or mindset, and just be able to relax a little bit and hang out and whatever that may be. But
yeah, I guess I always prefer playing in like those countryside courses, because one, I know I'm not gonna hit anything. It's either my ball is going straight or it's going somewhere else on like the flat land. But whereas if I'm playing like a city course, like an airport greens, where there's a lot of courses, courses, or I guess
holes.
Yeah. So like there's so many people that I could potentially hit with the golf ball. So obviously get worried about that. But shout out to Pins and Aces, the sponsor for today's video. Thank you for all of those that have used code Lions Cove. Pins and Aces is a Colorado golf brand that makes polos, head covers. They have gloves. They have everything. Use code Lions Cove, 21% off discount when you check out. It's the best discount they offer. And thank you for always showing the love and support. Thank you. So we go all the way back to the Travel Hoops days. What's something about our community that stands out to you or has stuck with you over the years?
Yeah, it's living here basically my entire life. Like I said with the basketball before, lifelong friendships. It was great with the Stello Summer Showdown. Like, you get to see it was most of the guys we grew up playing basketball with.
Yeah.
And guys that we still hang out with to this day, whether it's not even playing basketball. And then Stonewater's been great. I've met so many good people that live in the community, and get to see people every day that come up there and golf. And when I'm up there practicing, I love seeing all the familiar faces, and having a conversation, or if somebody needs some help with their golf swing, I'm always happy to help. And but no, it's great. Everyone's been so supportive of my golf game, and giving me well wishes, and it's great. I love being able it feels like a very small community, even though it's probably really not. But it's great. I mean, that support from Mayfield High School, and still getting to see some of the old basketball coaches or old baseball coaches, and or old teachers, and just the people in the community. It's great. I think that's certainly a huge factor in my development, is how I've become as a person, and golf.
Yeah, I mean, it's so awesome too because our class has always been like so close. Like, for example, when you go out to places like downtown, like Willoughby, like me and my cousins were out there yesterday just grabbing some dinner and just talking about life, and we ended up seeing like two kids from like high school, and just came out of nowhere, just started like a conversation about how life was and everything. I mean, it's crazy. Like, you can literally go anywhere. You can go downtown Cleveland. You could travel, and you'll see someone that from our community, and they always say hi. Especially our class in general. I always felt like our class was so special, which is why like the Cello Summer Showdown, like it is what it is today because of our class, and guys like you showing up, and continuing this tradition which has lasted since senior year of high school. So it's absolutely incredible, and it definitely makes you a better person, and even being around good people even
For sure.
can push you to be better in life.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, it's great. I mean, just the fact, I mean, even as simple as it is, just the 3-on-3 basketball tournament, just everyone, no one has to come, no one, but whatever. But, I think everybody just wants to come out and see old buddies, or even some new faces. I mean, I met a handful of new faces there, which has been great. And, when you get to see them out, or, you're at dinner and you see some people, it's great. But it's certain. I mean, I love being in Mayfield and being in Cleveland, and no, it's great.
Yeah. So last question: what's one quote that you live by every single day?
I would say hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. I mean, I felt like a kid who grew up. I mean, I wasn't the 8-year-old phenom that was some all-star at golf.
Yeah.
I just sort of had to just keep working at it and keep working at it. And I feel like I haven't hit my best yet. And whereas I feel like there's some kids who were freaking just really, really, really good at golf at 10 years old, and but I wasn't one of those kids. I sort of wish I was, but but no. But it's I mean, I just think you just keep working hard, and I was a late starter, but if you put your head down and work, you can do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I mean, if you have goals and dreams that like you want to achieve, obviously I'm sure there was people in your life that were saying, dude, like you can't do this, like you can't make it to the next level. But I mean, listen, if you have that great group of people around you, and if you believe in yourself, that's most important. If you believe in yourself and keep on working towards your goals, you could literally achieve anything, and it's so possible. And obviously you are a prime example of that, bro. I mean, you're doing incredible things, and seeing your progression, seeing your journey. I mean, the fact that you're just busy in your golf career, and you're still coming to these 3-on-3 leagues, so obviously still see you at like friend hangouts, like the fact that you do a great job of balancing both your personal life, social life, as well as your golf career. I mean, obviously it's awesome, and everyone is so excited to see how you perform, and I know things are definitely going to go great, brother.
I appreciate that. Yeah, no, thanks for having me. This was a lot of fun, and no, thanks. I hope the podcast keeps taking off. Everyone give it a listen, and if there's any others out there, I'm sure hit up Marcelo.
Yes, sir. Thank you, brother. But that'll do it. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share with friends and family, and as always, you use code LionsCove at checkout. And thank you for always showing love and staying here till the end. So Connor, thank you again, and that'll do it. Peace.
Yes, sir.